So you're aiming for a career with the Indian Economic Service or the Indian Statistical Service? That's huge. Well, your journey starts right here, with understanding the official notification. In this guide, we're going to decode the entire 2026 UPSC announcement, breaking it all down so you have a super clear roadmap. Okay, so this is it, the official notification from the UPSC. And yeah, it's a pretty dense 33-page document. Kind of intimidating, right? But hey, don't you worry. We have waded through all of it to pull out the absolute must-knows, so you can focus on what really matters, your preparation. All right, first things first, what does this exam actually involve? Before we get into all the nitty-gritty details of applying, let's just zoom out and look at the big picture, the basic structure of the IES/ISS exam. The whole selection process really boils down to two stages. First, you've got a seriously tough written exam worth a massive 1,000 marks. This is where they test your deep subject knowledge. If you clear that hurdle, you move on to the viva voce, that's the interview. It's a 200-mark personality test. The bottom line, you've got to nail both to get through. Okay, this next part is a major checkpoint, eligibility. Seriously, before you pour all your time and energy into this, you've got to be absolutely sure you meet the requirements. So let's break down who can actually apply. So, the educational paths for the two services are pretty different. You'll want to pay close attention here. For the IES, it's all about postgrad. You need a master's degree in economics or a related field. For the ISS, on the other hand, you need a degree, either a bachelor's or a master's, that has a solid foundation in statistics. So make sure your qualifications line up with the service you're aiming for. And hey, for those of you who are about to graduate, there's some really good news. If you're in your final year or just waiting on those final results, you can absolutely still apply. The only catch is that you'll have to provide proof that you passed before the final interview stage, so no need to wait around. So you've checked, and you're eligible? Awesome. What's next? The application itself. The whole thing is online, and we're about to walk through every single step to make it as simple as possible. Okay, listen up, because this is probably one of the most critical points. You should only, and I mean only, use the official UPSC portal to apply. There are a lot of misleading or even fraudulent sites out there. Your one and only safe bet is upsconline.nic.in. When you register for the first time, you'll get something called a Universal Registration Number, or URN. Just think of it like your lifelong ID for any UPSC exam you ever take. You create it once, and it's yours forever. It's a pretty smart system that makes everything so much easier later on. When you look at the whole process, it's really just 5 straightforward steps. First, you go to the official website. Second, create your account and get that URN we just talked about. Third, fill out the common application form with your basic details. Fourth, you fill out the specific form for the IES/ISS exam. And finally, step 5, you pay the fee. And that's it. You're done. And now we're getting to the heart of it all, the exam itself. The really crucial thing to know is that the structure is different for the IELTS and the ISS. So let's take a close look at each one. For the Indian Economic Service, you're looking at a total of 6 papers. You'll start with General English and General Studies. After that, you've got 4 deep dive papers on economics, and each one of those is worth a hefty 200 marks. That's how you get to that grand total of 1,000 marks for the written part. Now, for the Indian Statistical Service. Those first 2 papers are the same, General English and General Studies. But here's the big difference. The 4 statistics papers are a mix. 2 of them are objective, multiple choice style. And the other 2 are descriptive, which means you'll be writing out long, detailed answers. So you really got to be prepared for both formats. So we've seen the structure, but what kind of stuff will you actually be tested on? Let's take a little sneak peek into the syllabus, starting with some topics from the Indian Economics paper for the IES. And what's so cool about this is how relevant these topics are. I mean, we're talking about the major issues the country is dealing with right now. Black money, competition policy, big social issues, public sector reform. This isn't just theory. It's real-world, applied economics. Okay, let's switch gears. For all of you aspiring to the Indian Statistical Service, the syllabus is just as demanding, but it's got a whole different technical focus. Let's see what that looks like. For the ISS, the syllabus is deeply technical. You've got to master everything from the fundamentals, like probability and sampling techniques, all the way to advanced areas, like econometrics, which is really just using stats to understand economic data, and hypothesis testing, which is the core of how you make decisions based on data. This is literally the bedrock of the statistical service.
All right, let's get to the most time-sensitive part of all this, the fees, the dates, and the deadlines. This is the stuff you absolutely, positively do not want to miss.
First up, the application fee. For most people, it's a flat fee of 200 rupees. However, and this is really important, there's no fee at all for any female candidates or for candidates from the SC, ST, or persons with benchmark disability categories. For you, it's completely free to apply. Okay, these are the dates to circle on your calendar right now. The application portal opens on February 11th, 2026, and it shuts down precisely at 6 p.m. on March 3rd. That's a pretty short window, so you've really got to plan ahead. And this advice comes directly from the commission itself. Do not wait until the last day. You know how it is. Servers can get overloaded, tech glitches can happen. Just do yourself a huge favor and get your application in early. It'll save you a ton of stress. So we've broken down the what and the how of the whole process. But the real question, the one that matters most, is why. You see, this is so much more than just an exam. It's a gateway, a chance to be at the very center of shaping the economic and statistical future of the country. Your preparation journey starts today. The only question left is, are you ready?